Hey everyone, what I've got here is a tabletop tripod slash selfie stick with a ball head from a company called, is it Sirui? S-I-R-U-I. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it. So the model number is 3T-35R. The R stands for red. It's also available in black. I've bought this for my Canon M50, which is arriving soon, and it looks very well made. It's made from aluminium. It looks like it's going to last for a long time, but I think it is quite expensive. If you look at the prices of other tabletop tripods out there, a lot of people are, for the Canon M50, they're buying the Manfrotto Pixie range, and, they're looking at all these other cheaper mini tripods like this, but I was willing to spend a little bit of money on this because I think it looks pretty awesome. So in Amazon.com, where I ordered it from, it's $64.99. Of course, if you're outside North America, you have to add shipping costs to that. In the UK, the black version is £79, but the red version is a whopping £91.28. That is a huge amount of money. And if you watch this video and you do decide this is exactly what you're looking for, I would, if you're outside North America, I would consider perhaps looking at shipping it from America. You probably will save 10 to 20 euros, pounds, dollars, or something like that. As far as features go, you can see in the description here, small tabletop or handheld tripod with ball head, 10 centimeters long feet that can be folded up or down by 180 degrees, and you can see that in the photo there. Center column can be extended by 8.5 centimeters or removed altogether. The height is 27.2 centimeters. The weight is 0.25 kilograms. The max load is 4 kilograms. So you can see they've got a mirrorless camera here, but it is suitable for, well, basically anything up to a mini DSLR, I would say. So it looks really good. The company is calling it a mini all-rounder, and that's kind of what I'm looking, that's the way that I'm looking at it as well. I will be using it for vlogging, but I like the idea of sitting it down at a table and extending it. So, these are all the parts that come with it. There's a little clip at the bottom. Yeah, it looks good. Again, you always have to talk about price, and I do think that certainly here in the UK, I think this is a little bit too much for for what it is. But let's see if that is actually the case. I'll do an unboxing, and then after the unboxing, we'll take a closer look and we'll see how it actually works in practice. So this is the box. You can see it's got a 6-year warranty, and there's more information there about the load, etc., what you can expect from the tripod. But yeah, relatively simple box. So here's the tripod. It comes in a nice little carry case. That's actually quite useful. I will be using that actually. I'll take this with me wherever I use it. It looks like a big pencil case. And inside, this is really well packaged. So we've got an Allen key. That's bizarre, but yeah, there's an Allen key. There's a hook there as well, which you can see. You can put to the bottom. Yeah. Allen key, we've got the tripod. I'll just see what else is in this little pack here. This little bag. So this is the extension arm by the looks of it. I think that's optional. So this is the tripod. Now as you can see, this is in, I guess you could call it a flamboyant red colour, but I'm not sure if it's coming across in camera, but it looks really nice. I'm so bored of buying black everything, so I thought I would get something that's a little bit different. A little bit weighty, which is good. We'll just zero this, see if we can get the weight here. So, if I stand up to see this, it's saying 14.2 ounces, which is 403 grams. In comparison to other tripods, it's maybe a little bit heavier than certain models, but yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, let's go around the tripod. We'll just get to know this better. At the bottom here, you've got like a keyring loop, and this is where you can put a clip. I'll empty this out just to show you what's in here. So here you've got the instructions. There's a warranty card as well. So there's instructions on how you can set this up. That's there. Using the short center column. There's 2 Allen keys, and there is this clip. So if you want to clip it to your bag or something, you can use this. So for the last 20 minutes or so, I have been twisting every dial, I've been moving everything around, and yeah, I've been referring to the manual, just getting a better understanding of how all of this works. So you can see there, I've got the key ring here at the bottom, and I think this is quite a handy addition. It's quite useful if you're going to attach it to a camera bag or, you know, any backpack. Good way to hang it down. It is quite weighty, but should be able to, you know, hold on there. The only thing I would say is that it kind of gets in the way when you've got it, you know, down, kind of dangles in the way. So you'd probably want to take this off when you're not using it. I don't think you can take off the little keyring part there though, so that might create some noise sometimes. Now, one thing you may note here is there's a little symbol here, and it's like turn. So when it's in this mode, when the legs are all the way down, all you have to do is click it. So there's a little click like that, and when you do it, the legs will stop there. So you can see the position it's in there. The legs are there. You can't, you know, go up anymore. You can't put it like that and get it higher because it will just, you know, just kind of fall down. You can maybe position it, but it isn't like a Joby or anything like that. If you sit it like that, you know, you'd maybe sit it there for a while, but really where it's strong is when the legs are flat like that. So it's kind of one position for the tripod legs. If you put the legs back down, turn it back round, and then that's you. I guess you could call this vlogging mode. This was, this is perhaps the vlogging mode. It's quite a good idea, this, because when you look at it like this, and obviously this center pole extends, when you look at it like this, this looks like a very long tripod. I mean, I can hardly even get it in the shot. This is quite long, but bring this down, tighten it back up, and fold the legs open, and all of a sudden this looks, you know, like a much smaller tripod. So it's much easier to take around when it's like this. So you can see the symbol there, the brand name there, Sirui. I still don't know how you pronounce that. So moving up the center pole here, there's a part here that says have turn to unlock and unlock, and it's referring to this black turning section here. This is the type of section that normally over the years it gets a little bit loose when the oil isn't on as much, and you can see the oil, if you unscrew it, you can see that the oil is on there. Yeah, so it extends up to there. It's not like a huge length, but it's not too bad. I'll bring it back down. Obviously the ball head, if you wanted to, you can, forget this, take it off. So that is the top there. It looks like a 3/8, I think it is. I think that's right. So you can see, yeah, this is 3/8, I think. You can, if you want, put on a completely different ball head, which I wouldn't advise with this one. This one's way too heavy. But yeah, you do have the option. If you don't like the provided ball head, you can use something that's a little bit different. As far as the ball head goes, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. This one loosens the ball head if you want to move it around. And then you've got a base plate, so you would attach this to your camera, to your phone, to whatever. Underneath the base plate is there's an option here to unscrew it with the Allen key. So this is what the larger Allen key is for. It's for this part here. Now what this is for is there's a couple of different positions where this Allen key can be used. There's one there, there's one round here as well, and you will see it, another one down near the base plate. So there's one here as well. Now this one, when you can see I've loosened it already, and the reason I've loosened it is because I have unscrewed this part. Now the idea is that if you want, you can keep the bottom section like that. In fact, I'll lock it. You can keep it like that, and you can put it into macro mode. So you can see there the center poles have been removed, and you can just have the ball head on the top, and you can just use it like that. So if you're in a position where you don't want to use all the center poles, you can just do this, a little helicopter, and all of a sudden you have a tiny little vlogging setup or a little tripod setup. You have that option. So it's pretty flexible the way that it works. Now, one thing I wasn't sure about is one thing I wasn't sure about at first was that I saw this additional pole and I thought that this could be added to it like that. It can't. This is a replacement. You either have to use this one, and this one is the one that extends. You can use that one, or you can simply just use the center pole. So if you wanted to, you can just screw this one on like that and use this one as the center pole instead of this one. And obviously you'd have to unscrew this part to put to the top. I don't see myself using this one. I think I'll keep the extending pole. I think it just works better for me and it saves me messing around with anything like that. But yeah, you know, the option is there. The option is there for anyone who needs it. But it's quite good. It's kind of like a hybrid system where you can connect everything, almost like a module system, where each part can be taken apart and added. So if you don't want the center pole, you can remove it. If you don't want the one that extends, like that, if you don't want that extra length, then what you can do is use this one instead. You can just screw it in like that and have it fixed if you don't need the extension. But I think most people would prefer to have the option because, you know, why not? But the option is there. You know, the real test with this is obviously over time and all that, but it's just as far as how this works, I think that it looks really good. I think it looks good. It's not too heavy. Size wise, I guess this is, you know, kind of middle to higher end in a tabletop tripod setup. It depends which one you're comparing it to. I think it folds up quite well in comparison to other tripods. So you can get, you know, you can make this go very, very long if you want. Certainly not as long as, you know, an actual dedicated selfie stick, but yeah, you can certainly get a good enough length for this for sitting this on a table and setting your camera on it. So I think that looks wise, weight wise, quality wise, I think that this is a fantastic little tripod. I'm certainly impressed by the quality of it. Do refer to the instructions, guys, as far as unscrewing it and all that goes. But the reality is, if you don't need to change anything in the top plate there, you don't need the larger Allen key. You will need this one if you want to adjust the bottom one here. But, you know, I won't be using this. I will be tightening this up like so. And I don't see myself using it. I will just keep this in the pack and I'll just keep it like this. So let's see how this works and, you know, try it with some cameras and we'll see what it's like in practice. You should now hopefully have a better understanding of how this tripod works as far as, you know, securing things, twisting it, extending the pole, etc. I think visually this looks like a fantastic tripod. Looks really good in red. I wasn't sure about it when I bought it because, you know, certain angles it looked a little bit cheesy, but I'm really happy with the red colour. The legs seem to be a little bit slightly different red colour, but yeah, red or black, I think this looks like a great tripod. I think it looks good. Everything seems secure as far as tightening it up, you know, tightening it all up. And that is something to note because, you know, I've got some other tripods here as examples. And this one here, the Coleman Magnetic Copter, this was my favorite tripod for a long time. But, you know, over time it got a little bit looser. It just, the oils, everything, it just doesn't hold together much now. And I suspect maybe in a couple of years this could have the same problem. But right now, yeah, works great, feels great. So you can see I've got it the way I've got it just now. It's all extended up. If I wanted to, pull the legs down, lock it back up, flip the legs open, and now I've got, if I move these tripods out of the way, now I've got it in vlogging mode, and this is what I will be doing. You know, I'll be walking around, there'll be a camera there, the Canon M50, I'll have a microphone on top of it as well, and I have no hesitation of using it like that. It will secure the weight, I've got no problems with that. Yeah, feels great, looks great. Now, of course, I don't have this center column on. If you just want to, you know, you don't need this length here, you might want to use this center column, but I like having the option of extending it. But if I bring it down just now, bring this pole down, tighten it back up, flip it back open, and you can see if you want to be a little bit closer, if you're using your phone, you know, maybe the focal length is a little bit different on your camera or your phone, then you can have it like that. So you can extend it or you can have it like that, whatever way. I think it works really good. Now, there is one thing I don't like about this tripod and ball head. It is in relation to the ball head, but thankfully it is an easy fix. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out the RX100 here, and then I'm going to put on my heavier, much heavier RX10. Now, this is the base plate. So this is the top of the tripod here on the ball head. The base plate's at the bottom here, sorry. And this is the thing I don't like about it. So you can see it says Sirui. You can see that there. It says TYC10. Now, if you look at the bottom there, you can see that. That's probably the one little thing that annoys me about it, and seems like a minor thing. It is a minor thing, but it is something worth noting. This is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get off this little screw. Now, these things are very easy to replace. I'm using a screwdriver here just so that, you know, I'm not sitting here fidgeting for ages. Comes off very easily, but if you look at a ball head like this, and as I said, this ball head is way too big for this tripod, but it does fit it. This one has this at the bottom. See the little keyring thing? That is incredibly helpful when you're switching cameras. And you can see I've got it in this one as well. Now, this one doesn't have it, and I did find myself when I was screwing it off and on, it's just a little bit annoying. I really do wish it had a little keyring screw like that. But thankfully, as you can see, I've got one here. So what I'm going to do is put this one here, this one, I'm going to put it onto the base plate of the Sirui one here. I think that's worth doing if you buy this. Maybe other people won't be so annoyed with it, but I've really found this to be a little bit annoying to get. You know, if you're switching cameras a lot, if you're extending it and taking off the base plate and switching cameras, I think it would annoy you after a while. So I've put this one on. I think this is going to address the problem that I have with this tripod. I do think it's a lot easier to attach the plate to other cameras when you've got that little part to hold on, the little keyring part. I've always found it a little bit easier to screw it onto cameras. So let's see how we got on with the Sony RX10 here. So I now have the Sony RX10 on here. Another minor criticism, again it's minor, but with the ball head, because this is quite a small tripod, and I guess this is a problem with all small ball heads and all small tripods. See, as far as turning this, it gets a little bit harder when the camera is actually on, you know, in place. You can see there that there isn't a lot of distance between, there's not a lot of space underneath the, you know, the ball head, the plate, sorry, not the ball head, the plate for the mounting plate. I mean, it is tight. This isn't moving around too much, but it is hard to get in there and, you know, kind of twist it around. So that's another minor thing. It's not a major deal. You kind of expect these things with tabletop tripods. Everything's shrunk down, so you do get little issues like that. But, you know, looking at it, feels very secure. So if I do that, move it around. So the pole isn't extended right now. I wouldn't be vlogging with an RX10 like that. But that's it without the pole extended. And if I do a little twist here, bring it round, tighten it back up. I'll get the legs back up now. And if I bring this round, try and get this around. What I want to do actually is get the ball head and bring it round like this. And there it's there. Now, I know some of you might be annoyed that this video is maybe a little bit longer than what you've expected, and I don't like showing me messing around too much with, you know, fidgeting about with things, but, you know, like securing the camera and things like that. But I also think it's important to show you that, because a lot of videos, they'll just show you, you know, look, here it is, it looks good. But I think it's important to show you how it actually works in practice as far as, you know, securing a camera. The RX10 here, it does feel okay. This is probably at the upper limit of what I would place on this tripod. Now, I know this can do 4 kilograms, but for a camera like this, I would maybe be, you know, bringing the pole down, simply because of the weight of the camera. It's a heavier camera, this, much heavier than the RX100, which I had on before, but it still can do it. Now, I don't think I'll have any problems with the Canon M50 with a microphone on top. I think weight-wise, that's fine. But if you've got a smaller DSLR or something like that, obviously weight is more of a concern. That's okay, I've got a filter there. I put my finger all over it. So, yeah, it's a little bit fidgety at times, like any tripod, but you can see there that it works quite well. And as I said, when you've got the legs down, little quarter turn, not even a quarter turn, sorry, it's like 1/10 of a turn. The legs go down like that, and then you can extend the legs up. So don't consider this a final review of this tripod. I've only been using it like an hour or two, messing around with it, not even that. But my first impressions of this are that it's a really good tripod. As far as whether it's worth the money, well, you know, that's up to you. I'm not going to lie about this. I do think this is a very expensive tripod, but I do think that good tripods are sometimes hard to come by. You know, you buy a lot of tripods and, you know, they maybe don't last a long time. You see this with the Joby tripods. There's a lot of people complaining about them because they're fantastic for 6 months and then the balls start breaking. And then the Manfrotto Pixie ones, those are really good, but then some people don't like them. They think they're too small. I haven't tried the Manfrotto Pixie one. That's the other one I was looking at. The reason I was attracted to this version, this tripod, is simply because of flexibility. This kind of works like a selfie stick, like a vlogging stick. Also works as a tabletop tripod as well. And that's essentially what I'll be using when I'll be vlogging. Most of the time I'll be holding it up like that. But when I want to, I can just sit the camera down like that. Weight-wise, it says it can hold up to 4 kilograms, but ideally you want to be staying around the compact or mirrorless kind of size of camera rather than, you know, something like this. Or a large DSLR. Maybe it'll be a little bit too heavy, especially if you attach lights, a microphone, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that this is actually quite a good tripod. I'll see how I go on over the next few months, but I'm quite pleased with it. Again, very, very expensive. Like, make no bones about it. This is a very expensive tripod. So I hope you've all enjoyed learning about this flamboyant red tabletop travel tripod. It has been the Sirui, Sirui 3T-35R. In the box, you get a warranty card. 6-year warranty is pretty good. You get an instruction manual, which might look short there, but it has everything that you need. You get a cover to keep your tripod nice and shiny. Looks like a pencil case. It's got kind of felt inside. Quite nice. I will be using this. You also get a smaller one that goes inside, and this is for the Allen keys. There's one there, and the center column. Now, with regards to, you know, both of these things, the Allen keys and the center column, I saw one person talking about this in a review when they were talking about this tripod, and they were talking about how it's a little bit annoying to use these Allen keys because, well, these are the kind of things that are easily lost. And when I watched the video, I agreed with him. But after playing around with this and getting a better understanding of how this works, I don't think it's a major problem. This larger Allen key is for the base plate, which, you know, the ball head and all that can be changed if you want. The smaller one is what is used to, you know, basically put on and off the center pole. Now, I'm going to just keep it as it is. I'm going to keep the center pole on. I'm going to extend it when I want to and then bring it back down. I don't see myself using this center pole. Now, if you are someone who does want to, you know, switch between them, my guess is that if you're going out and you're doing lots of recording, for example, like me next week at a conference, you would probably pick one over the other. If you are in a situation where you're like, well, I want to switch mid-shoot and I want to change from an extension pole to that, well, I think it's easier to just, you know, do this and just extend it. But if for whatever reason you don't want to do that, just take it in the cover and take the Allen key with you. I do agree that things like this are easily lost, but, you know, the way that this is set up, it's only if you want to change the center pole that you need to use this. So just keep these together and you should be okay. So, final thoughts. I think that visually, I think this looks great. I think that overall the package is very good. As I was saying, you know, it's a little bit close here. A little bit close here as far as the tightener for the base plate and the tripod screw for the base plate. I don't know if it's coming through in my webcam, but it's basically the size of a screwdriver, you know, spacing the hole. it's not small enough to get your nail in. In fact, I was starting to hurt my nail there when I was, trying to get my finger in. That isn't good, and it doesn't have the little keyring thing to turn it either. So ideally what you want to do is replace that, but that's a very cheap and very easy replacement. You'll find different tripod screws for base plates on Amazon, on eBay, AliExpress, GearBest, the lot. You'll find those everywhere. And if if you're into photography or filmmaking, you've probably got a few of these lying around already. So that's a minor criticism, but it's not a major complaint really. As far as those, the overall package goes, though, I think that this is what they were saying. I do believe it is an all-rounder. I do believe that, and that's how they're advertising this. They're advertising this as a mini all-rounder. This isn't the perfect tripod. No such thing exists. When you have, when you have a large tripod, it can do everything. It's secure. This one here, if I put it to the side here, chances are, certain positions it actually balances, and other positions it goes like that. But that is to be expected. When you go from using a very large tripod, a very large and heavy tripod, when you go from that to a mini tripod, to a tabletop tripod, to a selfie stick, to a travel tripod, when you shrink the dimensions and everything is lighter and smaller, there has to be sacrifices. And there are sacrifices here. The ball head is quite small. Everything is tightened up. But you need to remember why you bought this in the first place. It's small, it's portable, and it's versatile. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do. If you've got a larger camera, a large DSLR or even a small DSLR, you might be at the kind of limit of what this can hold. Certainly if you're using it, and you want to move this to the side and, things like that, at certain angles, it just, the weight will just pull this over. And that just is the reality of the fact that this is, quite a light little tripod. Overall, though, you're always going to get, sacrifices like that. You're always going to get problems like that when you shrink things down and you go with a lighter solution. So take those into consideration. Be realistic of what your expectations are for this tripod. It is a very expensive tripod as well, so bear that in mind as well. I will leave links to the Amazon listing page. You can see it, the Amazon UK and the official sales page. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. I know I'm saying that again, but I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you've got a better understanding of what this can do and what it can't do. Don't take my opinion here as gospel. I think this is a very good tripod, but please do look at other reviews of this. And if you're on the lookout for a tabletop tripod or a vlogging stick or anything like that, go and look at the alternatives. Go and look at something like a Manfrotto Pixie. Look at what Joby are offering as well with their GorillaPod range as well. There's a lot of different options out there, and what's right for me and my camera might not be right for you and your camera. Everyone's got a different setup, and everyone's got different expectations of what they want from the setup. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. If you get any questions, please do leave a comment below, but please do look at some other videos as well. And hopefully that will help you build a picture of what this can do and what it can't do, and then you can make an informed decision. I know that sounds cheesy, but it is, guys. Do as much research as you can before you spend money on this, because it is expensive. Thanks for watching, guys. Please do leave a comment, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Cheers.